Hello, Western fans of Eastern leagues. It's Clockwise again. Fantastic. We skipped a week because I was lazy, but also I decided to try and make the videos a bit spicier. So I'll not go in sections like last time, but I want to make it more personal and discussing more opinions. And so it will become a bit flowy, and I will not worry too much about time. So please listen, tell me if you prefer this version or the one before. This time I will start from the VCS because we had a banger week, and VCS is shaping up like a great tournament. I personally thought that it was going to be GAM and maybe SBTC going for the title, but actually it's completely wild. It's completely different. There's Saigon Buffalo, who are stunning at the moment. They were a bit slow to get rolling, but now they look like the second best early game team, and the Rebel Franks is skyrocketing. So it's a team that you definitely need to be watching. So is Team Secret. They're on and up. They lost their last match against Buffalo, but still they are starting to look more and more like a contender. And looking at MSI, for sure, GAM is still the favorites. Saigon Buffalo is getting there. SBTC and Cerberus are in the playoff zone quite comfortably, I would say. There is things that they need to fix if they want to make a serious run for the title, but at the moment, it's GAM, Saigon Buffalo, the teams that you need to be looking at if you want to go to Iceland with us. And also about players, I've been really impressed about playstyle in general, because last year I started following VCS in summer 2020, and everything was wild with a lot of weird drafts and very questionable plays. But now the gameplay, it's starting to clean up, especially at the top of the standings. GAM are very clean in the early game. Buffalo too, and for example Cerberus are setting their own gameplay style, which is more revolving about late game and finding the right fights at the right moment. So there are a lot of styles, and they're getting polished. So while we, of course, expected a level which was going to be lower than last year with GAM and Flash, we're still getting some pretty quality matches, and this is shaping up a much more entertaining league than I expected at the beginning. So yes, if you're not watching already, you should, and you should keep an eye on Binjay, Levi, Kati, Artifact, Artemis, all players that are really popping off, and they should be in contention for the MVP of the split. We're halfway of the season, so there's a long way to go, and I will keep you updated of everything that happens. And yeah, personally, I have turned to be a Buffalo fan, but there's plenty of teams that you can choose to cheer up from. And yes, so I hope, trust me, take my words, if you want an entertaining league, this is it. As for LPL, so I was, at the beginning of the split, much more excited for LPL, since there were a lot of teams that looked to be on the same level after the preseason. After the off-season changes, there were a lot of exciting transfers that made up for a league that looked very much on a high level, and all the teams were close to each other. Plus, like in the video that I did about Ming and Meiko being trapped in their bad teams, well, the bad teams are at the top of the standings, and Royal Never Give Up and Network Gaming definitely surprised me. But the LPL is very weird at the moment for one reason above all else, which is that the top 6, maybe even top 7, considering that JD are starting to win again, let's say top 7 is on a whole different level compared to the bottom 10. So as Hysterics pointed out in some tweet, there are a lot of 2-0s. There are a lot of games which are personally not as entertaining because they are stomps, flat out stomps. The better team wins. It's not even fun to watch. But the matches among the top teams, those are really great. Those are really fun. They're like even RA versus FPX, which was like gameplay wise, it was a terrible match, but still it was so much entertaining. IG versus TES we had last week. It was like very high tempo, very fun to watch, and insanely high mechanical plays all around the place. Not all the matches are entertaining, but the ones that are, they are so fun to watch. So this is going to be exacerbated in the last few weeks since we already have a pretty clear idea of which teams are going to be good or great and which are not. So, for example, we have all the matches that are worth watching on Saturday and Sunday. And the rest of the league, despite playing like literally every day, it's filled with matches that are not really bringing anything to the league, especially for MSI, since they have one slot and only the first position counts. Everything below is just keeping an eye on them for summer, for Worlds, if they're gonna have 4 spots again. But until then, it's only for the number 1. So you need to win the league, and if you're like 6-6, you're realistically not going to, even if the playoff spots are now 10. There are 2 more playoff teams compared to last split, to last year. There are going to be more teams, but all those teams are realistically not going to make it to top 4, in my opinion. So, about players, I'm very, very flustered about Bo. I'm very flustered because he was turning out to be a great jungler, and he couldn't play because he was, suspended for I think 3 months. But now Beishang is not Beishang. Beishang is in WE. He is playing at a very high level. Keep an eye on him. But Beichuang is the rookie jungler for FPX, and it's kind of bringing the team down. Not so much because they're still within the top 6 range, but I don't know, man. It's like they could have been so much better. For a hot moment, I believed that FPX was going to be the team making it to the MSI, and now I'm not sure anymore. The last match between EDG and Royal was stellar, and the great player of this split is Xiaohu. Xiaohu. Okay, so no one, neither I did, had hope for Xiaohu coming in after a role swap, being performing so high level player in the top lane, and he is consistently outperforming every other standout player from last year's, like Zoom, like Flandre, like 369. He's not even letting them connect. Of course, Royal helps him by giving him the right matchup, by giving him all the attentions, but he takes it to a level where, he's just incredible at putting out more than what is invested to him. It's like a beauty to watch, and I think that Xiaohu should be definitely in contention for the MVP of the split. There are, of course, a lot of great players that are showing up well. For example, Viper in EDG. I think Jie is also, despite like not great performances last year, he is one of the top junglers at the moment. I think Wei is also coming in very hot. Ming is performing at a stellar level. TES, not so much yet, but they're still at 7 wins, so they can definitely be a threat for the title. I also love, as I said, Beishang from WE, and Rare Atom, despite, not having great players per se, they're still playing very well, playing very consistently around the mid lane, and they're finding all the wins that they need against bottom teams, and some even against the top teams, as they just defeated FPX. So yeah, I'm very sad also that JD couldn't still play with Mystic and Xie. I think their split is kind of, doomed. Like, not JGGs, but Xie and Mystic, they're realistically not going to play for this split. Let's stop even considering it a possibility. JD can, they're still the same team who won one split in 2020. So I still think that they have what it takes to make at least top 4. I surely hope they don't, because I am not a JDG fan. But they have the skill. They have the skill, that's for sure. So it's really hard to guess who is going to make it to MSI, because it's a much more close at the top, and every team can turn up in the best of 5s, and everything can still happen. Moreover, there are still 3 weeks, not as many games to be played, and yeah, it looks like at the moment. Let me check. So Royal are still facing JDG, TES, Rare Atoms. This is the pretty hefty schedule that they have in front of them. EDG have also TES, WE, and Rare Atom, so everything can still happen. WE probably has this, well, not so much. They have Suning, EDG, and TES. So all these top teams in the top 4 are facing each other in the next few weeks. It is crucial that you keep an eye on them. It is these games that will determine who is going to be MSI worthy, or at least, it's just a preview for playoffs. Then the real challenge will be on. So yes, my advice for LPL, catch the VODs from the games that are being played on the weekends. Those are when the hot stuff happens. During the weeks, I thought I was never going to do that, but my advice is to watch LCK instead. I haven't watched LCK, like 0 games, but my advice is during the week, watch LCK, during the weekend, LPL and VCS, because there's when the banger matches happen. So maybe I betrayed you with this advice, but I don't know. Please, if you enjoyed this video, let me know in the comments. If you prefer this kind of loose speech kind of video, let me know. If you prefer the sections with the timestamps, also let me know. I'm trying to have fun, I'm trying to bring you fun, and I'm trying to help you with catching up with everything that is going to happen and is happened. So if this video proves useful, if it proves fun, please let me know. If it doesn't, please let me know, because it's the only way I can improve. So thank you for watching. See you next week then, and have fun with Eastern Leagues.